month ago, I rescued a pit bull pup. He had not a very nice owner, and I guess maybe the poor guy, he just had a bad start in his life. I had to put him down yesterday, and I was I found some humor. I was telling him to say hello to my dog Bear that had lived to be 14. So, what is doggy heaven, or what dimension do our cats and dogs, our domestic friends that love us so much?
Yes, we're Archangel Gabriel. And we want to start by saying there is no difference in the soul of an animal or the soul of a human in regards to transition and the decisions that are made to reintegrate into the one. So although animals have a much different assignment and consciousness than humans on the planet, they still undergo at this juncture a very similar process to what many of you do. Now, when there's a connection between animals for a similar owner, you must understand that those animals will carry that identity with them through the transition. So it is not unlike family members. Although a soul fragments into different identities, those identities continue to go on regardless of the transition of a soul from a physical body. And this is why many of you who are very adept at speaking with souls who have passed on can identify the same characteristics and ways of speaking and feeling of those souls that etherically present messages to you from other dimensions. Pets are no different. So they will always find a meeting place with others that match the imprint of their identity from the earth. We see, for example, humans that you have lived with that you've most resonated with through time as ancient gatekeepers who will come back when you are preparing to transition. And the reason for this is there is a time in which your consciousness has difficulty adapting to its movement between physical and non-physical. And these recognizable identities in this linear timeline are best suited to help you move through that transition. So in dimensional relationship, it's hard for us to say that any one soul ends up and remains in any one dimension, but will continue to divide and reassign themselves elsewhere, even though a part of them lives on. So we want to answer this question in a way that suits you, but also take it a step further by saying that any two pets with the same owner having a similar imprint will of course be joined at the time of their transition and most likely live on together as souls in a timeline that never ends. At the same time, they're reintegrating into such a grand vision that they'll often refragment elsewhere. So if you've ever adopted a new pet, for example, and believed that a part of an old one was existent within the new, it certainly is possible because there is always a choice from souls that reintegrate to move into other timelines and dimensions. And pets are some of the most important soul guides for you on your journey. And when they transition, they have such a desire to often come back in a different form that they are the ones that most often do. When you transition and are integrated with the one, you are in a process of review. Not like what review on your planet is defined to be, because it is through collective eyes that you are seeing every decision simultaneously. There are great themes that come in that are assembled by you and are picked up as very valuable to focus on in other lifetimes and dimensions. And this is often why a soul will experience itself in a multitude of forms or even come back again to the earth, because there's something valuable, some insight that they received that they want to come back and reconfigure in some way. But we leave you with this. All of you on the planet at this juncture are going through a very similar transition. When you move through different dimensions, the review of your life through new eyes is what brings you into a state of operating beyond your old identity and choosing a new one, choosing new relationships and new ways of creating. And that is constantly unfolding throughout the galactic universe.